Welcome to Storytime with Dane, folks. And a lot of people want to know more about me. What got me where I am, why I'm here, the things that shaped me to make me me, okay? Especially to make me the me that wants to help you. Easy enough? So, why not tell you the story? Well, hey, why not? I'm going to go ahead and tell this story. And it was the time my life was saved by a prostitute. Simple enough. So here we go. I was young, dumb, perfectly suited for the military. And I still saw the world as black and white at that age. I was probably maybe about 21. I was over in Thailand. I was stationed in Japan at the time. Got a couple weeks to go kill in Bangkok, Thailand. I'm like, all right, man, Thailand, Siam, yay, all right. Hey, I'd seen the Roger Moore James Bond movie. Sure, I get over there. And I've got to admit, the Thai folk, as a general rule, are really great people. Now, of course, you're in a big city. You've got big city people with the attitudes and you've got the people looking for the tourists to play them and all that. But it came down to, here I was, wound up pretty tight. Most people didn't bother me because, don't touch him, he might go off kind of look. I was a little wild and crazy back then, and it showed. So I realized that my last week there that, I'd just been goofing off the first week, relaxing, having a great time, and I wanted a tour guide. I said, man, it's time to go see some of this country, to truly see it, not just run around willy-nilly and hit the bars and that kind of garbage. I wanted something else, I wanted a little more depth. So I went to a local tourist agency that had been recommended to me, to get a real tour guide that spoke great English, and they hooked me up with a lady that, well, in Thailand, it's not unusual to have a name that's 20 letters long and mostly what we would call consonants, but they'll have a use name that's like 3 or 4 letters long. So they hooked me up with a lady named Jai. She was college educated, spoke fantastic English, and this was my tour guide. So we would meet early in the morning, because I loved getting up early back then, and we would plan out what we were going to do that day and maybe the next day, and she took me to some fantastic sites. My God, Bangkok was a beautiful city. This would have been back in about 84, around in there, 83, that time frame. And so we get there, we're having a great time, and she's a stunningly nice lady. Really, she is. Wonderful human being. And as I get to know her better, I start finding out how different cultures can be. I found out that by day, she was a tour guide. But that wasn't a real steady gig. It happened every once in a while. Most people didn't want to pay for a tour guide. And by night, she was a prostitute. That was much more steady money for her. And I was like, wow. And me being, again, young, dumb, uptight, everything, the world is totally black and white. This really messed with my head. Because I'm like, what? Why would anybody be a prostitute? You know what I mean? I just didn't get it. What do you want? I was an upper middle class kid that had it fairly good for a while growing up. So, but I said, what the heck, man? I'm here to learn about other people and places, and she's been good to me for the couple days that we've been out doing stuff. So why not? No reason to get rid of her and get another tour guide. This was the culture. You know what I mean? And one thing about me, if people are taking care of me, I take care of them. I didn't think anything about we'd go out somewhere and, hey, let's go to this nice place to eat. Or, hey, let's go shopping in the market district. Let's go do this or that. And I treated her as a guest. It's the Southern in me. You know what I mean? That's what you do. Anybody that's taking care of you, hospitality and manners dictate that you take care of them. So we're out having a great time. I'm treating her like a human being, which I do with pretty much anybody, unless you prove to me that you shouldn't be treated like a human being. And we're out having a blast. Good old time. Now me again, everything's black and white, right? So the whole prostitute angle was just messing with my head a little bit. And at night, she would go home to her boyfriend, and she had a daughter. I mean, see, this was a whole different world to me. I just didn't understand it. And we were out and about having a great time. Then, like, they have little tuk-tuks or jeepneys, like little 3-wheeled runabouts to get around town, and you negotiate your cab price, okay, before you get in the cab. So we're out one day, we're going to head over to see something, probably one of the beautiful Buddhas or one of the parks. And I negotiate the price with the cab driver, and it worked out to basically, 100 baht, which at that time was about $2.50. I'm not thinking. The smallest thing I've got on me is a 500 baht note, and I know the cab driver's not going to have change for this, or if they do, they act like they don't, okay? So we're zipping along. We kept getting to our destination, and we get pretty close, and we go to hop out, and I told you, I said, hey, hang on a second, I've got to break this 500 baht note for the cabbie, and I go to run into this club door. And she's like, no, don't go in there. Whatever you do, do not go in there. This is not the right place for you to be going into. Look, at that time, I was, Billy Jr. badass. I said, hey, I'm going to go in and no problems. I'm me. I'm great. I'm Dane. And yeah, you can go ahead and make the joke. I'm Great Dane, okay? So I go rolling into this door, and like a total tourist, I got this 500 baht note sticking out of my hand, and I'm like, oh, I just made a mistake as that door closed behind me. I realized I had rolled into a gang bar, saw a lot of local gang tats, tattoos and such, and I'm like, I'm in deep crap here. Well, hey, when you're deep crap, bullet on through is the best you can do, right? So I kept walking right on up to the bartender, and you don't just roll into the bartender and say, hey, bartender, change. That's not the way it works. You got to give him something for it too. So I order a beer with my 500 baht note, and I'm drinking this, and real quick, I'm just going to chug it down and get back out the door. And I can just tell I'm basically become fresh meat. I'm the target, okay? And it's just going to be bad news for me trying to get out the door with all that change. As I'm heading for the door, I'm really not that worried in some ways, because at that time I was big on my martial arts. I was tough as nails. I was stupid enough to think that I could take anybody, anywhere, anytime, okay? Again, I was young. What do you want? So then, as I'm heading for the door, I see a guy coasting towards the door that just was scary. Smaller than me, and at that time I was about $1.50 at 5'6", and just the way he glided to the door, I knew he was better than me, and there wasn't going to be a thing I could do to stop this guy if he wanted to take me down. And I'm like, well, it's going to go down, and I'm about to lose my money. Let's just basically hope I don't lose my life when this is all said and done. About that time, the door just gets slammed on. The guy that had just backed up to the door to keep me from going out, he comes kind of bouncing forward into me, and here comes Jai running in the door. She's hollering and yelling, acting like she's looking for me, comes running up, yammering away at something, and she's acting just totally pissed. My Thai at the time was awful, and well, it's never been great. What can I say? I didn't find out till later. All the guys in the bar are laughing their butts off at me. She grabs me by the ear, literally drags me out the door, throws me in the tuk-tuk, and we get out of there. I'll tell you right now, right then and there, she just saved my life. There's no way I was going to make it out of this bar in one piece. I just didn't see it happening. I'd been in bad scrapes before in my life, and I said, I'm going to die at 21 years old in a foreign country. Oh, what a way to go for, a lousy 500 baht, So what, 12 and a half bucks, 13 bucks I'm fixing to die in a bar for. When she'd come running in the door like that, basically she was yelling at the top of her lungs that, oh, you piece of crap husband, I can't believe you're out here whoring around at the bars when, here I'm home with the kids working away all day. Grabs me by the ear, drags me out, turned it into a funny situation, so all the guys in the bar thought that was so funny. Here I was, the stupid foreigner, owned by his Thai wife, and she's going to take me home and kick my ass. Fair enough, I'll take that. Believe me, it's better than what was going to happen to me in that bar. We get out of there, and I realized then and there, it quit being so black and white for me in the world. It started getting more gray, or if not gray, more cream colored, shall we say, okay? It wasn't so black and white. I understood then that people do what they do because either it's their culture, it's what they know to do, or it's just the situation they're in. And that really, really helped me get on the path to straighten my own act out and realize that I could help other people with their lives. So literally, I'm sitting here today because my life was saved by a prostitute. And when I asked her about it later, we were sitting down to some lunch, and I was like, Jai, why? Really? I said, you know, I'm just a tourist guy. You don't know me from Adam. Why? And she said, truthfully, you treated me like a human being. You treated me like a real woman. You treated me like a person. I mattered to you. You've been good to me the whole time you've hired me to be your tour guide. You didn't do anything other than treat me as your tour guide. She said, you take me to nice places. You treat me with respect. You treat my friends when you meet them with respect. You don't hold anything against us because I happen to be an evening lady, which I know you Americans don't really hold in high regard as a general rule. And she said, because of that, she said, how could I let you be hurt just because you did something stupid for a minute there? She said, as one human being to another, you've been good to me, and I had a moment there that I could be good to you, and I took it and used it. Man, I tell you, what a kick in the butt that was. Wow, that was amazing. All because I treated another person like a human being that really wasn't used to getting treated that way. It saved my life. So that's one of my many stories I'll be telling you about how I got where I got, why I'm here, why I'm me, and why I want to make your life better, if at all possible. If I have whatever it takes to help you in any of the things I do, teach, be glad to. Because as one human being to another, you never know where kindness will come from. You never know where just the right thing that you did is good for you. What's the old saying, you know, to the world, I may just be one person, but to one person, I could be the world. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.